Welcome back to MCOC, AlBundyRules. Got the Red Guardian tutorial for you today. Hope you enjoy. Great utility champ. He doesn't get as much love as he deserves. Got kind of some hype when he first came out. It's got kind of forgot about over time. Seen a little quick highlight reel. Saw some great damage on the first little bit a moment ago. Keep in mind that wasn't an LOL fight, so got capped at 50,000. Otherwise, it would have been way more damage on that special too. But really showcasing, in addition to his damage, some of his amazing utility. I think his utility gets kind of forgot about between evade champ, evade counter, unstoppable counter, unblockable special counter, perfect block ability. A lot of this stuff Buffett straight cheeses through Buffett, which any of those champs or nodes that really feed off of you getting buffs and punish that automatically counts because he never gains buffs. So I'm just showing a quick little bit to help see a little bit of all what he can do. But now it's time to get into the good stuff. Let's see how we do that. Let's see a lot more. Let's see his real potential. Let's start this tutorial. Starting with the Blade of Shield. So you start each fight with 9. You can stack up to 10. You're going to see mine get much higher. That's because of Sig ability. So it's a benefit to awaken him and get high Sig because you can get up to 15 with max Sig. You get up to 1 more per every 40. So when he can't gain buffs. So instead he gains the shield. You'll see I kept gaining the durabilities there. That is because of instead of Dex count as a buff, it gave me that. And here we'll see he can block heavy attacks. He can when his shield's up, or unblockable specials, and then it stuns the defender there, as we're seeing on the fracture and it also inflicts a trauma, which can allow me to gain some burst physical damage in the red while that is active. And that's something you can keep, like resetting the timer. I'll show you how to do that as well. Shield cooldown increases, so if you keep multiple times breaking your shield, it's going to take longer during the fight for it to regain. So that is something to remember. You can't just keep breaking your shield over and over and over. Well, you can, but it's going to take much longer in between. He can't gain buffs. So here we see on the Buffett node, this is huge. I know a lot of people struggle with Buffett node at times, or similar type of ones, or some of these champs, maybe a Dormammu, some of these who will punish or do certain things when you're gaining buffs. Red Guardian is like an automatic cheese for those fights and nodes because of the fact that he can't gain. Someone like a Symbiote Supreme who can punish you getting a lot of buffs, Red Guardian doesn't gain any. In fact, instead of the buffs, he gets stronger with that durability. And we see a durability max. Durability max is great because it lets you get 5% chance at perfect block per stack. So 15 of them would be 75%, which is a lot of high chance of perfect block. And it also increases the damage on the S2 as per stack, and it increases that there. So evade counter, the slow right there. The great thing about this is you can just do 1S1 and then keep resetting it with heavies. So the special one inflicts a slow. It's a good length slow for about 12 seconds. It also can increase with the Sig ability, so you don't have to really worry about it resetting too quick. Like some champs with slow, it doesn't last very long. This one lasts a good amount of time. Can get a couple combos in before having to worry about resetting with the heavy. So we'll see the heavy right there starts it over. So these evade champs like Spider-Man Classic, Nightcrawler, some of these kind of ones becomes an easy counter. Just a matter of working your way up to the S1 carefully. Once you get that first S1 slow, then the fight's as good as over as you play fairly smart. And by fairly smart, what I mean is by ensuring that you pay attention to the timer and reset it. So when you see it getting low, parry heavy, boom, there you go. As long as it's active, they can't evade. So that's going to be a big thing right there. On these heavy attacks, you gain attack rating for each unique debuff. So you can get up to 3 debuffs. Getting all 3 debuffs at a time, I'll show you how to do that later, but it also refreshes all slow, vulnerability, and trauma. So if you get one at a time, keep refreshing and you can get all 3, so that can get you much higher heavy damage. So these buffs stay refreshed. So we'll see I have vulnerability and slow up at the same time right there. And I'm also going to allow myself to take a heavy so I can break shield fracture with that S2 and caused all three right there. So there's a few ways to go ahead and fracture that shield, take a heavy, take an unblockable special, or launch that S2. And that causes the third debuff to activate. So here on the S1, inflicts non-stacking slow debuff, reducing unstoppable evade by 100%. That's a big thing right there to keep a look at though. The S2, it strikes the opponent and it fracture, removing all durability. Each durability grants additional, in this case 332. It also, during its attack, debuffs inflicted, lasts 100% longer. So for each stack of durability, the more damage you're going to do here, additionally it makes the debuffs. So you got debuffs going on, it's going to make them last longer. So get those debuffs going, launch an S2, especially with higher amounts of fracture going on. So you can get some serious damage. So that's 85,000 right there based on 1S2, and that wasn't an LOL max cap of 50,000 fight. So hit the max cap would have been much more otherwise. Special 3. This automatically brings you to max durability, so in my case 15, so it could be as low as 1, bring me up to 15, gets you the stun debuff, and it gets you vulnerability for 20 seconds, which increases critical damage rating. So that's huge. Again, a debuff can give me additional attack power. Additionally, it gives me that crit rating, so that's a nice one to go. I like this S3 signature ability. This is a champ you do want to awaken a max sig because well-timed blocks have a 100% chance to prevent durability. I get also trauma slow vulnerabilities last 30% longer, and I can increase my durability for 1 for every 40 sig. So you start off with the chance to get as high as 10, but with a max sig, you can get as many as 15. So that makes a huge difference between perfect block, which could be very useful in some fights, as well as higher attack. So you want to get that one max sig. Here's some of the synergies we're looking at. We're seeing the Black Widow movie. We're seeing a pretty decent one. We're seeing Sabretooth, pretty decent as well. He's got some nice synergies, but something that makes this unique, the one with Omega is pretty nice too, is over here with Rhino and Abomination, he can actually make some pretty bad, completely unusable champs at late game content actually usable. I'm not going to say he makes them OP, but he makes them pretty dang good. So we're seeing the Rhino synergy there with the passive theory. We're seeing the Abomination can be very good there too. He can even make someone like Unstoppable Colossus usable as well with these synergies. So I'm not saying you always want to bring them along for those purposes. They don't really do anything for Red Guardian, but he makes them actually usable. Tips for using: number 1, on Unstoppable or Evade champs, you just carefully get to that S1. If it's a parry, medium, something like that, and then get that slow, and then you can just keep resetting it with that heavy. It might not be as needed on, say, somebody like a something like that on Unstoppable. You don't have to be as careful, but on someone like these evade champs, you want to be careful. You're watching that timer. Once they are getting close for that timer to end, you want to ensure that you reset it with that heavy, and you see how that timer resets right there. You time it correctly, they'll never be able to evade. They'll never have Unstoppable trigger, and this could be good for those champs who excel at evading or Unstoppable, or those nodes. There's a lot of nodes that use that too these days. Tip 2, when you have a high sig, Red Guardian, get to the max durability right at the beginning. There's benefits to getting high. Again, because you're going to get more damage on S2s, you also get a higher perfect block potential. So that extra 75%. So it's very beneficial to keep at that, because that can greatly decrease the amount of damage you got coming in through block, and or it also can greatly increase the amount of attack you got going out at the same time, especially on those S2s. On tip 3, get 3 debuffs on Defender. You can get more attack rating going on with the more debuffs again. So a good way to go about getting the debuffs is I like to start off with the S3 myself, because that gets that vulnerability going on, which gets me more critical rating. So that S3, we see vulnerable right there. It also lasts a long time, so I can kind of take my time working my way around the last 20 seconds. So as I'm working my power up, I'm keeping an eye on it. When it gets a little closer to getting low, let's just go ahead, play it safe. I reset it there with the heavy. Always keep your debuffs, keep an eye on them, and reset them with the heavy. I'm launching an S1 now to get a second debuff up with the slow. So I'll keep a timer on as I'm working my way to my third. And then what I'll be doing here is use a heavy to reset it again, keeping those debuffs up. And now I'm going to go ahead and break my shield to get the third debuff. And a few ways to break that: block an unblockable, block a heavy, or use an S2. And we see that S2 shield fracture got 3 debuffs, and I'm seeing some serious damage. Hit the max 50,000 on LOL and 35,000 right there. And then you can keep using heavies while they're stunned. Heavy to reset the timer, and keep repeating from there. I hope this video helped you. Great champ, does a lot of stuff that underrated for an automatic cheese counter for so many fights. And don't forget to subscribe to MCOC AlBundyRules.